What's up, mamas? I'm Rebecca. You're watching the Reseller Mom Show, and this is another edition of Drive Time with Rebecca. If you're not really sure what this is all about, let me just tell you, I spend a lot of time in the car driving back and forth to the bins. It takes me about 25 minutes back, door to door. And sometimes I go and do other things, other errands, what have you, and I happen to be alone in the car. And I thought I would take the time to have more chit chat videos. Sometimes I run into content ruts where I feel like I have nothing to watch and the YouTube algorithm just doesn't seem to be showing me anything new. And so I thought I would help fill the void if that happens to you and give you some random, interesting, somewhat reseller related content to watch, have in the background when you're doing things, and just to keep you company from time to time. So this is a chit chat video. This is not, my most amazing tips. This is not a screen share. This is just me chit chatting in the car and sharing some reseller related thoughts with you and hoping that it would spark, a conversation in the comments, because I do read and respond to all of them. And I am getting, a little bit of a community going of reselling moms with this channel. And so whatever you have to say, I'd encourage you to put it in the comments below after the video or while you're watching so that others can benefit from it as well and join in the conversation. So with that all being said, like this video, leave a comment, don't forget, and subscribe to the channel for more Reseller Mom content. So today I wanted to just talk a little bit about the idea of being like a branded, curated closet versus an everything store versus having multiple stores or multiple lanes, I guess you can say. And I'll explain why. I go back and forth between kind of what I want my business model to be. Sometimes I really would like a curated closet of a specific type of thing. And no, it's not boho style because that is not for me. Because there's others of those. So for me, I'd love to have like a curated closet where I'm just specifically focused in when I go to the bins or I go to a thrift store. I'm only looking for certain types of brands, certain types of sizes, certain types of items. Like that sounds very freeing in a way because you know exactly what you're looking for. That's what you're putting up. You're going to get a following that's interested in that. And that all sounds good. But then I think about, well, when I'm at the bins and I find this other thing that's super cheap that's going to end up in a landfill and it doesn't fit with my thing, what do I do with it? So then I'm like, no, I should just stick with an everything store. That's what I have now. I have men, women, kids. I have, I'm kind of going away from maternity, but I have maternity. I have some vintage. I have all shapes and sizes, all styles, all kinds of items. Everything is in my store. And I like that because you can appeal to everyone. And so why not? Plus, if I'm here and I spent the time to go to the bins or whatever thrift store, time, money, effort to get there, why should I be so selective and leave things behind? Everything store feels like I would make the most sales and I would make the most of my sourcing time. So then I go on to that time, that frame of mind, whatever. And then I go also to, well, what if I try to do both? What if I source everything, but I have branded multiple streams of ways of lanes, whether it's multiple closets or, one's on eBay, one's on Poshmark, whatever that would look like. I don't have that now, but if I did, what would that be like? What is it like to operate multiple brands and multiple closets and stores and manage them all? Is that better? Is that worse? Can you cultivate a following in each one and make a branding, do branding in each one, and that's going to make you be more successful? I don't know. And then the other part of it is what I do now is I have my everything store, but I also have levels of the way I sell things, if that makes sense. So like the stuff that goes online is the best stuff, right? But then there's like the stuff that I buy because I'm there and it's perfectly good or it's new with tags, but I don't want to sell it online. So I take it to like a buy sell store or a consignment store like Style Encore and Once Upon a Child for kids. I don't even bother with Play-Dohs anymore because they don't want to deal with me. And so there's that level. So like, you know, you kind of have different business models in that I sell stuff online, then I sell stuff to Style Encore. Sometimes I put things in lots on Facebook. You know, I do that with like the Disney princess costumes and things like that. So there's like that kind of Facebook local sales level. And then I have my dollar clearance sales, which I really don't buy things specifically to sell there because my bins is $1.39 a pound. So it would have to be extremely light in order for me to pick it up and still make a profit selling it for $1. So I don't really pick things up specifically to sell it for $1. So those are all of the ways that in my mind, I try to make the most of every trip. As reselling moms, sometimes sourcing can be the hardest thing because you need to get away from your kids, or you need to travel to a place, or you need to, you know, just focus on what you're buying. And so that sometimes can be the hardest part. And so I feel like when I get that time, when I get that 2.5 or 3 hours or whatever it is to, go sourcing, I want to get as much as I possibly can that will sell in whatever way it possibly can that's profitable. And I don't know if that's the right way. I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. I do see people that are at the bins that are very specific and very picky. Today I went to the bins and I didn't even look up not one thing. So I don't know, is that better? Is that worse? And so I would love to know what you do and what you think of me bringing up this idea. Are you a curated branded closet that is very blinders on, pick up only specific brands, sizes, and item types and styles, and that's all you do, and you don't care if you leave perfectly good stuff behind because it doesn't fit into your curated business model and closet? Or are you an everything store where you pick up anything that will make you money and it's all in one spot and you don't really care about the branding? You just want to sell whatever to whoever and it doesn't matter. Or are you trying to do, you know, multiple closets, whether it's a kid's closet and a women's closet, or whether it's an athleisure closet and, you know, a high-end closet? Like what is the breakdown? What do you see? I'm just really curious, and I'd love for us to be able to kind of share amongst each other what we think about it, what our strategy is, because I don't know what to do. And I go back and forth about it, and I feel like I waste a lot of time in doing that and a lot of mental energy that could just be spent on buying stuff and listing stuff. Like sometimes I just have to remind myself, Rebecca, stop thinking about it, stop doing it. Just buy stuff and sell stuff. That's all you need to do. Today, that's what you need to do. Buy stuff and sell stuff. It's too hard. So those are kind of the different thoughts and models that I have and that I'm going back and forth on. I would really love to do a branded closet and then maybe like an everything else store, perhaps. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't really know, but I feel like Mom Roar Boutique, which is the closet that I have now, it's not running its course, but I'm a little sick of Mom Roar Boutique. Lord knows I don't even know how I came up with that name back in my, you know, sleep deprived baby Geo, not sleeping through the night, just decided to throw stuff on the internet to sell his clothes. Like, who knows what this crazy person was thinking coming up with that name. I like it, you know, fine, but I don't think that it is what I want my everything store to be if I do go with an everything store. And it's certainly not what I want a branded store to be. So I think that there are some rebranding opportunities with my business and with my current closet and any other closet that I might have. And so I bring up the idea to just test out what you guys, you know, what the temperature is out there. What do you think about this? What are you doing? What's your opinion on it? It's not going to necessarily weigh in, but sometimes I get really one track about stuff as far as like, I'm going to rebrand, and then I go full funnel into it and I don't really consider all of the variety of viewpoints that would make sense and bring up some really good points as to why to do it or why not to do it. So I'm kind of, you know, hoping that me bringing up this issue and you perhaps, you know, outreaching back to me in the comments and letting me know your thoughts on it, being like a sounding board, will not only help me, but might help you and any of the others that are watching and listening and going into the comments who are maybe considering the same thing, or maybe never considered it, but now are because they see a benefit to it based on the conversation. So this is kind of one of those where, like, sometimes I miss doing live shows. I used to do live shows on Mondays, and I do want to do them again. And some of these topics would lend themselves well to that. But the problem is that I don't get enough of an audience to where I think it would be as beneficial for like the entire group. Whereas here I could put this up, people can watch it whenever, leave comments, and you could potentially check back with it and see where the conversation goes. So I'm trying this out as like a, hey, these are the kinds of things that I'm thinking about as far as having a curated closet, having an everything store, or running multiple branded businesses simultaneously. And what are the pros and cons to all of it. And then obviously whatever I decide, and it may not even be this year that I make the move, but I'm really leaning towards it and making a change. And so obviously I will take you guys on all of that so you can watch that journey. But I think it's worth discussing, and I think it's worth hearing multiple viewpoints on. So if there's ever a video for you to, first of all, like the video, and second of all, you know, leave a comment. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you think about what I'm thinking of doing, and any comments, concerns, opinions, all of it. I want to hear it all, and I will read and respond to all of them, of course. And as usual, subscribe if you haven't already. This has been a random edition of Drive Time with Rebecca, and I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.